Albert Bandura's Social Learning Theory by Ross Romanowski. The social learning theory focused on the concept of reciprocal determinism and looked at social influences like ethnicities and cultures and how they affected learning. People behave the way they have observed others around them to behave. Bandura's social learning theory is a middle-range theory characterized as a cognitive development or interaction learning theory. These types of theories concern themselves with the perception, the thinking, and the reasoning of the individual learner. The primary idea behind cognitive development theories is that learning will take place over time, like when an individual explores and interacts with the environment around them from birth to adulthood. The origin of Albert Bandura's social learning theory began with the idea that observation, imitation, and modeling play a vital role in an individual's behavior and learning process. The behaviors that people exhibit are acquired through observation and the modeling of others. For example, someone may observe and admire the behavior of a celebrity and try to emulate how they act and behave. Another way one may learn is through vicarious learning. One may not act or behave until the following circumstance, but through verbal explanation, one can learn how to behave. For example, one may describe how to respond to a fire emergency appropriately, but may not have had to implement this behavior since this emergency has not occurred. However, through vicarious learning, an individual can become prepared and act accordingly to the situation. Later, Bandura found that individuals can learn on their own through self-regulation created by the environment around them. That person will actively select their role models and regulate their attitudes and actions regarding learning. The three main concepts that Bandura focused on with his social learning theory were the reciprocal determinism, observational learning, and self-efficacy. Reciprocal determinism is the idea that an individual and their behavior is influenced by the environment around them. This also holds true with the environment. The environment is also influenced by the behavior of the individual. An example would be inner-city Chicago. Crime rate and gang violence are very high in those areas of the city. You could say that the poor, run-down environment forces the everyman for themselves behavior. But that same behavior causes that area to stay run down, and there is no teamwork involved with trying to build back up that area. Next is observational learning, which is the ability of an individual to learn by watching others. This is contingent on the individual being able to pay attention, retain the information, reproduce the behavior observed, and must be motivated to either repeat this behavior or to forget that behavior. We must pay attention to learn the behavior successfully. We must retain the behavior learned so it can be used at a later time. We must reproduce the behavior to help improve our knowledge on the behavior, and motivation will either continue the behavior learned or it will be discouraged to be used in the future. Finally, a person can learn behaviors through self-efficacy, which is the confidence one has to act successfully. This is the idea that an individual may select their role models and regulate their attitudes or behaviors. These three factors focus on how an individual can learn from their environment, through observation, and through self-exploration. In the social learning theory, Bandura outlines three clear concepts and provides an excellent explanation with each idea presented. Reciprocal determinism, observational learning, and self-efficacy are the three pillars that the social learning theory leans on to create an appropriate theory that is used throughout nursing and the everyday world. Bandura's social learning theory can be diagrammed as a simple triangle with the three corners being the three concepts, or can simply be marked as personal factors, behavioral factors, and environmental factors. These three concepts work cohesively to make up the social learning theory. The organization and linkage of the three concepts that create the social learning theory are simple and allows those who apply this theory to understand the outcomes that may occur. Due to the fact that each individual is unique and has unique environments and upbringings, the findings of each individual will be different. However, the idea that one learns from their behavior, environment, and personal factors allows for a specific pattern to be observed and allows those using the theory to apply the model to their application. In today's society, social learning theory plays a crucial part in the education of the younger generation of nurses. Younger nurses may learn techniques and values through visualizing experienced nurses that they may admire or look up to. Some nurses may share with others how to respond to certain situations in the healthcare field, especially if some individuals have not yet experienced these situations. Finally, they may learn through their own experiences and ideas that are created from working themselves. The social learning theory allows individuals to understand and predict health patterns that may directly affect patients' healthcare. For example, simulated exercises allows for the students to observe the proper technique to use with the scenario provided. It creates a realistic environment that the individual may experience, and it allows the individual to practice their own technique and strategy on the situation provided. Not only does the social learning theory pertain to nursing and implementation in the healthcare profession, but we can see aspects of this theory throughout all different subjects and societies, including psychology, sociology, and education. As described earlier, the crime rate in Chicago correlates with the ideas outlined in the social learning theory. An individual is brought up in the poor, crime-ridden environment where the mentality is every man for themselves. They look up to poor influences like gang members because they see them making the most of the situation that they find themselves in. Thus, the individual looks at their behavior as satisfactory. Then, they begin to act on these ideas themselves and contribute to the harsh environment that they find themselves in. But we can see the social learning theory in a different environment and look at the concepts applied differently. Let's take a small suburb environment, specifically a housing development. Their surroundings are substantial, community-driven, and team-oriented. Families may spend time with other families, and carpooling might be utilized to help with one another. An idea of community is ingrained in the young individual, and they too believe in the sense of teamwork and community. They idolize the adults that live in this environment and see a proper style of living. Finally, through self-efficacy, they implement ideas of their own to move forward in creating a similar, if not better, family dynamic within a similar community base. The social learning theory continues to be at the forefront of nursing education and research. We continue to see the ideas of the social learning theory within our own culture and community and the community of others. And this theory will continue to be used for further research and understanding with how individuals learn and behave, and how we can utilize this theory to create proper learning techniques for future generations in the nursing profession and in the community. There are countless articles, documents, studies, and journals incorporating Bandura's social learning theory. Research has shown and continues to show that the social learning theory can be applied to clinical practice not only in the nursing profession, but in psychology and sociology. As discussed earlier, it ties directly into education, because the theory itself pertains to how individuals learn and behave. The first that we are looking at is presented by Chen, Wang, and Hung in 2015. They discussed the use of the social learning theory with pre-diabetic patients to reduce the number of these specific patients from developing diabetes entirely. The study focuses on the prevention of diabetes by using health-promoting self-care behaviors that are learned through the individual's environmental, behavioral, and personal factors. The results of this study proved that through personal factors and environmental factors, we could assess health-promoting self-care behaviors to reduce the occurrence of diabetes from pre-diabetes. Another example of Bandura's social learning theory was seen in the study conducted by Christian and Crumweedy in 2013. They held a study with obstetrical staff nurses that involved human simulations related to preeclampsia and eclampsia scenarios. The study focused on the self-efficacy of these staff nurses and how they significantly improved after simulation training was conducted. They found that the knowledge gained was sustained over time and that management of patients with preeclampsia and eclampsia significantly increased. Through these simulated trainings, it allowed for the staff nurses to actively participate in the scenario, which in turn improved learning on the subject. The last example involves the use of the observational learning concept specifically. It discusses how a group of students utilize the process of attention, retention, reproduction, and motivation to achieve learning objectives. The study uses the observational learning construct as a foundation for designing learning experiences for students. They accomplish this by providing the students with a worksheet listing concepts linked to scenario objectives. While observing, it allows the students to apply their knowledge and practice still. This provides the students with more satisfaction with the simulation experience and enables them to retain more information on the subject while still being in the observation role. After reviewing multiple studies and articles, it seems that the social learning theory continues to be implemented throughout different subjects. However, it is noted that in most cases, only parts of the social learning theory is being used. Like discussed in the examples provided, 2 of the 3 examples focused on a specific concept from the 3 provided by Bandura. Only one of the examples utilized the theory in its entirety. Social learning theory is unique in the fact that individual concepts can be used in the progression of future research, practice, and education. Future utility of this theory will continue to be used with both the social learning theory as a whole and individual concepts, due to the effectiveness this theory has shown to have within the practice. Research has already been seen as successful with the utilization of the social learning theory. The examples provided have proven that the social learning theory can lead to the further implementation of practice and education in a variety of subjects. This theory continues to support countless studies involved in the nursing profession and has also been seen used in studies related to topics about sociology, psychology, and education of all ages. The prediabetes study has already utilized evidence-based practice and has shown positive outcomes with the implementation of the social learning theory concerning health-promoting self-care behaviors. Research involving this theory can continue to progress as well. Psychologists can continue to study how current media promotes violence and how this directly affects our younger generation and the factors that may lead to children becoming more violent or aggressive. And we can continue to see real improvement in the care of patients through simulation exercises that will promote self-efficacy of those specific scenarios.